Mm-hmm.
Do you guys consent to me recording about this topic?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about issues with corrections, court, and policing. Now, my first question I have would be, excuse me, have you or anyone you know experienced a traffic stop by law enforcement before?
Yes.
What happened?
Yes.
It was my mom back in LA back in the 90s during Inglewood. I think this was right before the Rodney King trial, and her first husband at the time, which is a black man, they weren't doing nothing, just driving, and then they got pulled over for no reason. And my mother, her appearance is like she looks white, but she's Mexican, and I think the cop let her go for that.
Okay, okay. What about you, Carlos? Carlos.
Carlos, you
I was
there?
muted. I'm sorry.
All right, you're good. Go ahead.
What was the question again? Sorry. One more time.
Have you or anyone you know experienced a traffic stop by law enforcement before?
Yeah, my mom. It was my mom and dad. My dad got stopped. And he was, oh, God, I don't remember the story.
All right, so one time I was driving from Durango to Arizona, and I was okay. I ain't gonna lie, I was going 40 and a 25,
Oh my goodness.
and I didn't know I was because it was the town. It was like I got into town, I didn't see the stop sign because I was rushing, and then I get pulled over, and this guy he gets out and he's like, "Thank you for pulling over to a safe area instead of on the road. You know, I really appreciate you for that." And then he asked me like, "Where you going?" I said, "I'm back home." And uh, he said, "You drove through a town going 40. The speed limit's 25." And I said, "Oh, my bad, officer. I didn't pay attention." He's like, "All right, I'm gonna let you off with a warning." So, but the thing is, like where I was though, there's I don't think there's that much discrimination
Hmm.
going on there because
Mm-hmm.
my our town that I was at, it's mostly full of natives and other minorities out there. So and it's
Okay.
mostly in the it's like it was more of a liberal college too in a small town.
Man, they got a weird way of showing it then, because that's not what happened when I was there.
You were there at one point, huh?
I was. It was for my it was for Christmas. It was my mom's boss's house. She let us have it, and me and my brother, my brother-in-law, we went down to go grab some firewood to make a fire,
Uh,
and we walk in, and it's like all eyes on us. Like they just kind of just stopped everything they were doing, and then what was it? We went up to one of the stock boys, the ones who stock the shelves,
yeah.
and he just seemed to like fear us. Like, don't get me wrong, like I guess we're pretty intimidating. We're both 6 foot plus. We got pretty big builds. But I mean, still, it's like we just wanted some firewood,
Hmm.
and then we asked the manager. Oh man, sorry. And then we asked the manager, and the manager at least was cool. He was like, "Yeah, it's right down there," and they were like, "Cool." And then when we were checking out, the cash register. Oh shoot, I'm sorry. When we were checking out at the cash register, the lady working there, she was staring at us the hardest, like real bad. And then when we were about to leave, she just looked at us and said "Buenas tardes," like really bad. And then
What was she? What was she? Is she white or?
yeah, she was white. They were
Oh,
all
so
white.
Mm.
And
so
then
keep going.
when we were walking out of the building, like we were raised right, so whoever's coming in, we'll hold open the door for them.
Hmm.
And we were holding open the door for these people, and they just stopped and looked at us, just waiting for us to do something. And it's like, what the heck? We're just holding the door open for you, man. Just walk through. And they're like, oh, 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 sorry. Like, trying to wave it off.
Hmm.
And yeah, that was pretty weird. That was like my first time, like, that was kind of a funny. experience. You know,
You
I
ever you were
wouldn't
like
say it was like super bad, like not compared to like other people, but yeah,
you weren't like no one ever said anything like discriminating towards you that involved like the police or anything?
not really, but I mean, yeah, it felt like it.
Okay.
Felt like they were just waiting or trying to do something. I don't know.
Just waiting for you
It
to
was
do
just a weird
something.
instance. Yeah.
What about you, Carlos? Like, did you ever have any problems with the cops in Arizona?
Um, Not really, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Because where I work at, I see a lot of cops, and they don't bother me. They just go by me chilling. They say what's up to me. And that's it. My
Okay.
situation with cops are not. It's not bad.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing too. I never like that. Honestly, when I got pulled over, it was like my first time getting pulled over,
Mhm.
and I just did everything that I was told to do. But my parents like, if you get pulled over, put your hands on the steering wheel. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, no, ma'am. Say you're gonna reach
Mhm.
into your glove compartment to pull out your registration. I did all that thing, but like I said, where I was, it was everyone's used to the cops knew everyone basically, and it was a safe area. There wasn't much crime there.
Mhm.
I've never been pulled over in Arizona before, or here, or in Vegas.
I haven't been pulled over at all before.
I've been,
Dang, okay.
but it was because I deserved it. Like I was speeding. And, yeah, it was on base too.
Oh, that's even
Oh,
worse. How
I think
about what about
yeah.
like the base cops ever like give you like trouble, John, or no?
No, it's more of like not much race, but power trip. They
Mm,
just, they
like,
just it's kind of similar to how cops are in real life, like sometimes they got bullied in school or they just got demeaned in their upbringing, so they just want power.
Mhm.
I'm not saying every cop's like that, but sometimes that's the case.
so,
But
so
no, it wasn't like that when I got pulled over. But it was, I mean, living in North Carolina was also kind of weird, cause I remember I'd go out in town, there was a little freaking breakfast cafe I'd like to go to, and then you got the old folks just staring at you hard. It was
hmm.
weird.
Do
'Cause
you
I
think
was
the
yeah, I was
base do you think like base like the Air Force base and Marines base they should crack down more on those guys that have like a power hungry or
Of
should they
course, but
just
that's
leave
for
it?
all law enforcement. That's for all law enforcement. Like, yeah, like I don't know how it really works for cops. I don't know what the process is. They have to do an interview. I'd assume so, but there gotta be like kind of a red flag if, hey, this person, when he's talking about his upbringing, like, yeah, I was bullied, belittled, something like that, because that's primarily why they want the power, like a badge. People have to listen to them in society.
Mm.
Mhm.
Well, okay, so a question again with like about cops. Do you think like there should be like a certain test to like see if they're okay mentally before they become a cop?
Of course.
Yeah.
I would like. Do you know any way how you would do that?
Mhm.
I think interviews are a good thing because when I joined the military, they asked me like, "Hey, are you joining to kill people?" Because some people just literally that's all they want to do. That's
Hmm.
all they want to do when they join is to kill people.
Mm.
Like go off to war, go off to the Middle East or whatever, just to take lives. And obviously, even though it's a part of that, it's not really like the point of us going there to kill people. The point of us is to defend our homeland and to defend our country, our freedom, and everything with that.
Mhm.
Uh,
The cop is supposed to be protecting the citizens of the cities, like
yeah.
that, but some of them just got itchy trigger fingers and want to do people harm. So yeah, I'd say definitely interviews would help. Background checks. I mean, of course, there's oh so much you can do. Like I
Ah,
understand that. Like it's not. We're never gonna live in a perfect world where
yeah,
it's
okay.
just every cop is a good cop. Like there's
Mhm.
bad ones, and I'm not even saying like that it's all gonna be racist. Like there's just genuinely corrupt cops. Like Training Day. Training Day was based on a real story. Like I forgot his actual name. It was I think Lonzo Perez, LAPD cop. The story was loosely based on what he did, which was sell drugs. He sold drugs. He'd like raid people and then take their drugs and then sell himself.
Huh.
And then like he had a group of cops in on it with him,
Mm,
and that just gives us a bad look too. He was a black man and
Mm.
like a Afro Latino,
yeah,
so it just man it sucks. You gotta do better than that.
yeah. I've been thinking about that too, with with that question. Like, they do need. I think they need to do like more interviews or some around those lines to like see how mental, like what their mental, uh, what's it called, mental, like if they have any mental illness or not. I think that would help a lot. But I mean, you can also hide that stuff pretty easily too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
So
I think they
just
should look at like their family history
family.
and see like
Yeah,
what's
that's not a bad
go
idea
back go
either.
back in the records and see like
like
what their
which family
family's done.
members were born and like if
Mhm.
born with any mental illnesses or some.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Well,
those.
mental illnesses, but like their upbringing as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like,
What they did? Did they get in trouble a lot in school? Did they fight a lot? Did they how you say?
Did they participate in any hate groups? Like,
Yeah, there
hey,
you go.
it's the same thing. It goes both ways. Like, I don't want a freaking black radicalist or like anyone trying to serve the community as well. I don't need a white supremacist trying to serve it. I don't
Mhm.
want anyone that's like looking at color
mhm,
Yeah.
off the bat. I just don't want anyone like that because it can go definitely goes both ways, and I feel like people like think it's only white folks, but it's really not sometimes.
yeah, I know what
Or
you mean.
I don't want it to be like that.
Yeah, it is. I mean, but also you got to think too about that stuff. Like, it could cost more money and more time to do that too,
Mhm.
though.
Oh,
I mean, we do pay a lot in
Especially,
taxes, so
especially
I
if
don't
you.
see.
Oh yeah, we do. But some of those
they make
taxes
us look.
aren't going to like mostly police forces either. They're
Yeah.
used for other things. So to take the time
Oh,
to
and
like,
here's.
huh?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish
Take
the
the
thought.
time to like really look back into someone's life. That could take time. That could take money. And that, like, if some areas are struggling for police and they really need like to hire people, they might just skip all that and then
Yeah.
just hire them there. So like,
That was another thing too. My mom suggested was like obviously it's a choice and maybe not everyone wants to be a cop, but like get people from the community they grew up in, like
mm,
recruit out of there, and then have them police their communities because they'll know everyone.
yeah, they'll be trusted by those. Yeah, because that's how it is on the reservations too. Like, you got a well-known guy. Oh, he's joining the the Navajo PD. Cool. He's well known around the area. He's people trust him and whatnot. Like my uncle, he's pretty well known now. Because his dad, or not his dad, his stepdad, I should say. He's my grandpa. He was a cop on the res for a bit before he moved to Albuquerque to be one there. But he was well known on the Navajo reservation too. So, and then that just like builds up to others too. Like, you can use that as a reference. Be like, yeah, my dad he was a police here too. So I think it just looks better if it's like, I agree with you. It looks better if it's from the same community.
Yeah.
I know my dad said he had a friend who lives out here. He's a native too, and he's from the Navajo reservation, but he works at the Metro PD. So, like, I mean, it's kind of hard too, because like you do want to move around. You don't want to be in the same area for life.
Yeah.
All right. let's get another question going. All right, here's one. How does police training around de-escalation techniques affect interactions with the public, especially in high-pressure situations?
Did you repeat that one more time?
Yeah. How does police training around de-escalation techniques affect interactions with the public, especially in high-pressure situations?
Um, Obviously, I don't want people to die. It, like usually they just, well, not usually. I do see a lot of like police videos where they go for their taser first, try and apprehend the suspect like that. And usually that's the way it goes, but sometimes, they mean to do harm to others or do harm to themselves or to the police officer. So sometimes you're gonna have to, you know, like kill them. Like that's just how it goes.
I think
But
it depends on the situation more too.
yeah.
It's like if
So I
someone's
mean, if
go ahead,
so, one thing I think they should teach police officers is like take someone down like properly,
like coming at you with
because
like a
I don't
knife
think
or something.
yeah, like I don't know if cops train like how to fight, because I feel like you can just solve a problem like that. I'm not saying a bunch of police force train like Batman and they can take down anyone, but um I remember someone way back when suggested that they start doing jujitsu so they
Mm.
could just put them in a lock, restrain them, and then there you go. Like if they start swinging at you, if the taser doesn't work, just put them in a hold of some sorts and then apprehend them like that.
Mm.
Yeah,
Especially if they're unarmed.
mm.
Especially if they're unarmed.
Yeah.
I think like they're just taught to like know how to fight well, like well enough to
Yeah.
defend themselves, but like not well enough to just like put someone in a choke. And like unless they're like came from a military background
Mm.
too,
Hmm.
and they know how to do it, yeah. But honestly, I think that goes back to like the first question. I think they should like look into more background with like experience, like the military too. Like, but the thing is too with that is, veterans do have a case of having PTSD in situations like that. So it's kind of a hard thing to do and explain.
Yeah.
All right, next question. To what extent does racial profiling occur in police practices, and what measures can be taken to eliminate it?
Obviously, just get rid of him. I forgot the name of the sheriff for Maricopa County,
Oh, I know you're
but
talking about.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I forgot
Mm.
his name, but I remember he would only pull over Mexicans. Like that was the orders for the people under him, were to pull over Mexicans because he was trying to look for illegal immigrants.
Mm,
Like no matter what, speeding violation, or actually they don't even have to break a law. He just
they
said
just have
pull
to
him
be
over.
Mexican.
Mhm.
Yes, yes, or look Hispanic of some sorts.
Okay.
And they got rid of him real quick. Or not, well, not real quick, actually. I think he was the sheriff of Maricopa for like 20 years. Let
Dang.
me look it up. I forgot his name.
What about you, Carlos? How would you fix racial profiling?
Hmm. How would I fix it?
Yeah,
I would say, damn, how do you say it? Oh, my fault.
you're good.
How would we change racial profiling? Just get I would say like we should always. I think we should like train cops in any situation. Well, how you say it? I really don't know.
All
I really don't know. I'm trying to think, but
right, just take your time with that one. I'll just say what
yeah.
I think. Like, I think the punishment should be more severe, really. Like, if you are caught racial profiling and they have proof, I think it depends too about how bad the racial profiling was. But like, if if it's like a little small and like you pulled someone over and because they did this and they're like, well, your people usually do that, something like that. You know, I think he should be like punished by the department. Have something
Mm,
like either like demoted or put to like a position where he should like where the lowest position really,
yeah.
like parking meter or something. um, but that's what I think. Like there needs to be more severe punishment when it comes to that.
I would say yeah. I like that the punishment. You could also do like training about that, like in those situations, like how don't they have like the don't discriminate training or something like that?
Oh yeah.
They could also do that.
All right. Did you find that cop John or no?
Yeah, Joe Arpaio.
Hmm.
I think that's how you pronounce it. Joseph Michael Arpaio. Yeah, he was sheriff for 24 years in Maricopa, and that's how that was his whole thing.
Okay.
Way back when, cause
And
it
he was.
sucked too. Cause my all my family's Mexican on my mom's side, and they all live in Arizona. So
Mm,
I don't know if they like dealt with that a lot, cause I don't. They don't really talk that much about stuff like that, but I hope they didn't. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, obviously, once you find that out, just get rid of them. Like you just can't tolerate that. And then what else? Honestly, I'd host more community things. Like just get to know your community, man. Like
Yeah. Like interact with them.
not all these people are just like criminals and like that's what I think a lot for the inner city. Like, cause that's what so the town I lived in California, Escondido, they did that
hmm
as well. The police hosted like a little community get together
Yeah.
to get to know them, which is the town I lived in previously is mainly Hispanics,
mm
and the crime rate there is kind of on the high side. It's not too bad, but it's there's definitely a lot of criminal activity there.
mm
So I think that's good because I know a lot of the people there are just hard workers, just trying to make a living,
Yeah.
live life peacefully.
That's another way to help with racial profiling, getting to know your community. Um, let's go on to another question. Probably be two more questions and then we'll be good. See. All right. Here's one about the courts. How can the courts balance the need for public safety with the rights of defendants to due process?
Can you say that again?
How can the courts balance the need for public safety with the rights of defendants to due process? You need a definition for due process.
No, or yeah, actually, go ahead.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so it's like the government allows or they must follow certain procedures before they made the private person of a protected life, liberty, or property interest.
They basically the Miranda rights, their due
Yeah,
process, like the
Oh,
utmost
okay.
Miranda rights.
yeah,
Yeah.
that one.
Uh,
I'm going to read the question again. I can say it again.
yeah, sure.
All right. How
Please.
can the courts balance the need for public safety with the rights of defendants to due process?
Public safety Okay, so obviously, I just think this. So if someone's arrested for a crime, I don't think they should get bail. Like if a
Uh,
certain for a certain crime.
hmm
Like if someone was arrested for murder, rape, like something very, very sinister,
yeah,
like of course guilty till proven innocent. Like, but same time that person is a threat. Things could get bad, but at the same time, it's so like I said, they can be innocent, so that might be bad. But that's hard. That's tough.
kind of a trick
Cause you know what
question.
I mean, right? Like you don't want like if someone is
If someone's
actually
innocent,
committing these crimes.
or
Yeah,
like if someone's innocent, you just don't want to throw them in jail immediately. Like,
Mhm.
yeah,
but if like it also is like if someone did do the crime, they still got to
You
go
don't
through
want
the
them
whole
roaming
pro,
around.
and then you don't like have
I
enough
just don't.
evidence, or like something like you can't, you still gotta follow the rules.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's tough to think about.
cause
Mhm.
that's yeah, it goes with like slippery slopes, right? Like you don't want you don't want people's rights being violated.
Yeah,
So mine would obviously most definitely violate those rights. But
I think
I don't know.
I think
Well,
like it,
bail, I don't know how bail would work, but
honestly, I think
yeah.
it could be like if you have a ton of eyewitnesses and
Mhm.
they say like yeah, or the suspect did say like yeah I did it, I think you could just throw him in jail immediately.
Mhm.
But if
But
you
Well
what
not like
suspect could
that.
do that though?
It's I'm talking about like when they're getting arraigned.
okay,
You know what I'm talking about? Like
yeah,
they're here for the murder of a certain someone or the rape of a certain someone, and then how do you plead not guilty or guilty? But if the crime is that bad, is what I'm saying, then I really don't think they should get bail.
Mhm.
That's like
now
public safety,
how
like
bad does the
basically
crime need to be though? Because to
I
many
think
murder,
people,
so.
rape,
there's different crimes that could be really bad to
murder, rape. That just goes to like pedophilia.
them. Yeah, that's
Like if
Mhm.
one.
someone's charged with pedophilia, um, I
What about
wouldn't
domestic
say like
abuse?
uh,
Domestic abuse.
I say domestic. Oh, most definitely because like if you're putting that person right out, they can go like hurt. I've actually heard stories of that. Like people
Coming
just
back.
they get bailed, they come back, and then they just kill the person. Like domestic
Mhm.
abuse ends in like death, like a
Yeah.
lot of the time.
Mhm.
Like I don't know percentages like that, but like most of the time it ends in like someone dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that life could have been saved if they just would have kept him away.
Mhm. I think like for small crimes, like someone has a little weed on them. No, I think they should be okay.
They need to quit that.
Yeah, just, I seen like people didn't like back in the day didn't like back in the day didn't they like get multiple years or something like that,
Yeah,
9 years.
I think like average like
Three strikes you're out. Yeah,
20
it was
years.
I think that was Bush's thing, right?
I think so.
That's how they got them freaking jails to blow up and get free slave labor out of them, out of the workers.
Mhm.
I know
But yeah, something like that. Yeah, just
I know in some states, like with Kamala Harris as the vice president, like some people would still get arrested for weed too. Do you think
Yeah,
that
no,
like that
they
should stop?
mhm. It
heck
depends on how
yeah. Like,
much.
is it?
How much though?
I mean, it's tough. I guess like more than what, 10 pounds?
Well, I don't know. I don't know about that. Just we. It's not. Well, it depends on who has it. Just people to cut it with different things
True,
to
and
add
plus
stuff
like
to it.
with the fentanyl crisis going on now too, like
Mhm.
that's big. Yeah, it's kind of tough to like with kind of tough with the question. Like if it's a small crime, like the crime could keep adding up. Like, oh well, this guy had weed on him. How much did he have on him? Oh, there's fentanyl in it. If you just do like
Well,
weed,
if they find traces of fentanyl in it, then I'd say like yeah, get this
I know, but like
guy out.
the
But
rules have to be like very specific when it comes to that.
Mhm. Yeah, I think if there's like more than probably 5, 10 pounds, they should be in there, but not.
Not for like an ounce.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. All right, let's go. Let's do a final question. Let's see. Here's one about Prisons. How does overcrowding in prisons impact inmate rehabilitation and correctional officer safety? And what solutions can be implemented to address the issue?
Separation from violent crime to
Like medium
other
crimes?
crimes. Yes. Burglary. Uh,
Would pedophilia be like a violent crime?
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
I think maybe it should be in three
But
sections
I
because
know I know what they do is bad, but you still can't put them in a prison with like violent inmates too,
I
Yeah.
know
Just they would.
because
they'll kill
they'll
them.
kill them.
Hmm.
They've known, like, prison's been known to kill pedophiles.
Yeah.
Like, I know what they do is bad, like terrible, like it's awful, but you still got to give them the right to keep them safe.
That's why they usually throw them in those like
I,
um. What's those ones? I forget those jails are called.
Asylums.
No.
Yeah,
um.
mhm.
Um. I think it's high. It's not high security. It's something else. I
Maximum
can't remember.
security?
No.
Well, I was about to say maximum security is for like
I know. I just heard about
risky.
it too because there's a dude I seen and they're talking about him and he got freaking beat up in jail, almost killed, and they moved him somewhere in Cali, like in a small state where a whole bunch of them are. I can't remember the name of it.
all right, let's start talking back to the question though. Like, so you said just separate the more like
So
violent
yeah, the
inmates.
separation, like yeah. Um, obviously, I'm gonna treat a murderer different from like a burglar or a tax evader or someone like that. Someone
Hmm.
that's crime isn't
Yeah,
necessarily
keep your guard
hurting
up.
other people.
Like keep your guard up around them.
Yeah,
Now we
like
still gotta rehabilitate them too, though. You can't just treat them like
Hmm.
animals.
Yeah.
I mean, we could like give them some type of freedom, I guess, to make them still like mentally okay, stable,
I know
instead of
there's a lot of jails out there that do like the 23, like 1 hour, 23 hours inside, like 1 hour outside. They
oh,
should change
that's
that up a little
bad.
bit.
like more
Yeah,
time
Yeah.
that's really
outside,
bad.
A little more time
or
outside, a
like
little more
more like
time.
freedom to explore explore more or something.
Give them more
Um,
activities and hobbies. Like
yeah. I know a lot of them get their. I don't know about how many they do, but a lot of them get their GED if they didn't finish high school. A lot of them got their degrees. A lot of them
Yeah, I remember reading about
read.
that.
Just a lot of people. Just give them stuff to do to pass the time.
Should they also like
give them a skill to
increase
learn too. That
should they
Yeah.
increase like time with their family or something? Or like more time with their family, I mean?
yeah, of course, that could like really change them. That could
Mhm.
like help them out a lot. But also, like if you don't let them have a skill to leave with when they leave prison, then they're just gonna go back to the same thing they did before
Yeah.
They
because
should.
they don't
They
know how to
should.
survive. Like that's the only way they know how to survive, which is
Mhm.
sad because that's their upbringing. Like they can't help it.
Yeah.
But if you teach them something, give them a skill to learn instead of like being a janitor or something like a dishwasher at a restaurant. Like that's not a good job for them. Like to and some of them have families. Like
Yeah.
some of them
Mhm.
have like families they need to take care of, and you're not gonna take care of them on like a janitor or dishwasher salary. That's not really good. And plus, they're gonna be like insecure about it because like, hey, like what's my son gonna think his dad's a dishwasher?
Mhm.
Like, just teach them to do something with their hands.
More
I
like
would say
blue
teach
collar
them.
work.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yep, right there.
They're like,
Because a
oh
lot of people
yeah, they
don't want to
should
do it
like
no more.
Yeah, and honestly, I think they'd be ready to like get any type of job that makes good money to help their families or themselves too.
Mhm.
hmm
I mean, we also got to keep a close eye on them too. We can't just let them, you know,
Well, that's why the parole's
probation
there
or parole.
or probation. Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. That's why it's there. Well, that was the last question I wanted to ask. Thank you guys for for answering this.